going to come back in. I see where Paul Wright L wrote, why is it so important to free Larry Hoover, respectively, and why is he, sorry about that with the noise in the background, a big part of things? Can you explain? Well, he can explain when he comes back, but from what, if you've ever heard him speak on it, free Larry Hoover, he said, it's like a battle cry. It's not just, while there is importance about, okay, let him tell you. Brother Rod, there was a question that and I'm just going, even though we're talking about you, but can you explain this for those who've never heard you explain? Why is it so important to free Larry Hoover, respectively? Why is he a big part of things? Can you explain? Please explain.
Yeah, I don't have no problem with that. It's not just Larry Hoover.
That's what I was getting ready to say. That's a battle cry, a rallying cry.
Right. So when we got the 7.4 earthquake in New Mexico, they asking me in a series of exchanges of what we call knocks to knockbacks. The Galactic Council asked me for my leader because of the work that they seen me doing. They want to know who it is that I'm up under, who is the leader of the clan that I'm in, because I made all of the successful moves to reclaim our inheritance from the enemies. So when they ask me who I follow, who is my leader, I have to give them my clan leader. I can't give them no politicians because they're not our real leaders. I can't give them none of those corporate big hats because they're not our real leaders either. I can't give them a celebrity. I have to give them somebody that's from the land organically, who walked the same path as me before me, who may not be who people want him to be, but he is who he is to us as a people. The same way the free Larry Hoover, it also equally applies to Assata Shakur, the one formerly known as H. Rat Brown, Malachi Z. York, Chief Malik Angel Bay, formerly known as Jeff Ford, Black Keystone Nation, Stan Tukey Williams, who we believed was put to death, but was actually put in cryostasis at Area 51. The only person that I would accept that wasn't one of us, that was one of us, that was seen in the public on a regular basis was Farrakhan. Because when I did the science to trace back who the matriarch was, I ended up with Mother Khadijah, using the rules of the land applied on the things that's operating on the land. I have to find the highest ranked matriarch in order to know how to restore our people. If we can't find her, then we don't know how to read the signs effectively enough to know the difference between the imposters on the land and our own people. Well, I clearly seen who she was. Farrakhan has the evidence and the verification proof, and he already presented it, and it's already been verified that all of the stuff that I said was accurate. So when they asked me for my leader, the only person I can give them, being that ever since I was, all of my cousins in my age group that I grew up with from in Chicago, I didn't live in these three cities. Is Grand Rapids, Michigan, Chicago, Illinois, one spot, and learn the culture. The culture is all across the land, but you have to be exposed for a period of time to be able to assimilate this piece. Also, before I went to prison, I lived in Mississippi. I lived in Memphis, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee. I lived in Seaford, Delaware. I lived in Newark, New Jersey, New York, right? I had to traverse the land, and a lot of these trips from these places was by bus, Greyhound. So here I am, riding a Greyhound across the land and surveying the land, right? And so to me, these are translatable signs that other people that's listening that know how to read signs can translate, right? And so when they ask why is Larry Hoover relevant to our struggle, is because he was taken from us, a leader that we picked on the land ourselves. The government didn't pick Larry Hoover for the people. The people picked Larry Hoover, and the government rejected him and rebelled against the choice of the people. The same with Chief Malik Angel Bay, right? And it's a whole list of leaders in our communities that was being picked by the people, that was ruthlessly hunted down by a government operation called COINTELPRO, right? COINTELPRO is short for Counterintelligence Program, and the goal was to stop anybody, one of us with the capability, which everybody I named was capable, but it's one problem. You can't be a bond servant and redeem the land. You can't be in prison and call yourself the chief because you're under somebody else's subjugation. That means you are in a foreign jurisdiction. You can't give orders if you're in a foreign jurisdiction on your own land. That means you've been conquered. So me being the next in line saying, hey, if we gonna do what's right, we gonna unilaterally do what's right. Or I don't want to do it. I don't want to do half of what's right or a piece of what's right. I want to do the whole thing, change the whole thing to correctness, or I don't want anything to do with it. Right? So it's not just free Larry Hoover. That's just the condensation of all our complaints. The adrenochrome harvesting, the women trafficking, the sex trafficking, the children, the kidnapping the children, the selling us in the open market using our birth certificates, trading bonds. All this has to stop in order for us to ever see true prosperity and a new golden age on earth. And because my give a fuck meter don't move, for lack of a better way of putting it, I don't care enough about the enemy's well-being to not take them off our land. Whereas some people become so familiar in associations with the enemy that they don't care to remove them from the land, from taking food out of our babies' mouths. You don't have to agree with me. I'm still gonna fight for you. Because the universal law say you got a right to believe whatever you want. You got a right to think whatever you want. Be you right or wrong, that's your right. I can't take that from you. That's inalienable. Because if you didn't have the right to think what you want to think, then your thoughts wouldn't be enclosed in your own self-head. They would be on public display at all times for the random person to come through and change them. But that's not the case. So you got a right to believe what you want to believe. You don't have to agree with me. I'm just going to tell the truth until everybody understands from frequency and vibration and verification of receipts. So don't believe me, check the receipt. Argue with the receipt, don't argue with me. That's my philosophy. The receipt's on the record. Been building up for 3 years.
Yeah. Well, and in the fullness of time or at the right time, that's when I came across you. I wasn't supposed to, I'm assuming, until now. And so it's a good thing. You mentioned the Galactic Federation. I received a call from a sister, and I was supposed to be reaching out to you. I'm sorry. I apologize, rather, to the sister who was a part. Have you ever heard of the Committee of 300?
Yeah.
So Committee
of 300.
Yeah. So it's sort of, I believe, from what I got, it is sort of galactic in its origin, and she is a part of it. And so, she watches. I know she might have seen it, might be on here. I'm not sure. But, when she first reached out to me, it was like the committee is trying to figure out who you are. And she kind of wanted to have a conversation with you. But I was wondering if you were familiar with that. Maybe she was selected to be part of the Committee 300.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
First and foremost, because I had some of the most prominent
Drop them in the chat, man. We're gonna take about 10 to 15 minutes worth of questions, man. I think it's right here with some heavy duty They do these shit, man. You just gave me a whole bunch of shit. I could write a book on just what you put on, what you gave me today. I could go do more research and put a book together called The Holographic Reality.
I got some more to it. We ain't get to.
But do part 3. We'll do a part 3.
Okay.
Back free again. Let's see what they got. Hey, if you got any questions, drop them in the chat for the ride. Yeah.
So as you can see, the game of life is the game of the gods. The game of the gods is played in the holographic universe.
Yeah.
The holographic universe produces the earth realm.
Yeah.
The earth realm is where we experience light. The rules say we have to be synced to the earth and come in with amnesia and remember who we are. The little girl told you it was thousands of us around the world scattered out in order to raise the vibration and the frequency of the planet. So now remember, I was showing you on the solar storm how the UV rays interact with the Earth's electromagnetic field. This generates what's known as the Schumann resonance.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be restored to the Schumann resonance, which is the right resonance. So if you go to Google and you look up Schumann, it's going to show you the canopy of the sky over the Earth. Right? That's the right frequency, the A tone. So as we all make an atonement for the dirt we did, then it automatically re-attunes the earth back to the A tone, which is the atonement of the earthborn in the redemption process to recover earth from those who can't stay here because they violated the cosmic law and created something known as the great debauchery. And in the process of cleaning up the great debauchery, we collected galactic points of suffering the motherfucking bottom of the barrel shit to build up something called pre-karma. Pre-karma is the points that we created by our suffering, being the firstborn or the earthborn, in order to see those who had less come into their own and be able to achieve more. So we passed the God gene to the God creation because God created something they ain't had no business doing because they didn't have the prime creator permission, nor did they have the permission of the queen of heaven and earth. So now they come into our community to get their drop of blood, but they got to get it by any means necessary, even at the tip of the sword. So the Shriners come in 32 degrees Scottish Rite on the challenge Fezes versus Feathers under George Washington Masonic order to put us in the warlock. So now that we can't in the warlock, we can't access our coffers, we hold our wealth. But in order to break free from the warlock, one of us got to break free from the slumber, come up from under the sleep, build themselves as the perfected man, master and masters, the self-raised master. Hiram Abiff's rage, the motherfucking Masonic Lodge, all motherfucking lodges bump straight. And then 45 come in because he come in off of ACP. Now that's a military firearm, right? Which is in modern times a Desert Eagle, but the Desert Eagle is a 50 cal. And a 50 cal will blow a hole in your ass big enough to walk through. If you think bullshit, watch what the 45 do. Because the 45 will leave a hole in your ass and leave you leaking for days. So when the 45 land, that's the Desert Eagle on the return in the Air Force One off of a Raven Rock knock to a knockback, zigzag zig, all the zigzag zig, all the chiefs across the land is rocking this bitch from motherfucking hand to hand. We done with the bullshit. Now it's time to unload a full clip on a Gangstar flip off of a guru. And the guru is a teacher. And the teacher is the master teacher on the Malachi York knock to a knockback off a speaker. And the speaker is Minister Farrakhan, who has Aaron in his name, but y'all didn't ever catch that because y'all don't know the code. Because the minister named him Farrakhan Muhammad, not Louis Farrakhan, but y'all can't get it right because he was the charmer. So he was so busy charming y'all, he ain't stopped y'all from calling him Louis. Because Louis the 14th was instrumental in the European rebellion, but y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all too busy trying to drink Louis the 15th wine, right? So now that we in the club and we hanging late night, motherfuckers doing these line dances now, we capture the conjure. We capture the conjure to send the energy back to Mother Earth that the old ones has returned. As Empress Verdiasi say, the ancient ones, the return of the ancient ones. And how you gonna know when the guys are standing before you? Because they're gonna experience a different lifestyle that's gonna allow them to show you how to shine in the public. By using exceptional brilliance and overwhelming intellect, they'll be able to connect the dots across the celebrity circles to the politician, bring out the dirty players and expose them motherfuckers for who they is. tell you what's going on behind the scenes without being behind the scenes, sitting here watching it play out, understanding the land and how to read the culture. Once you understand how to read the culture, then you know who the culture vultures really is. But the vulture is the condor, and the condor is fearless. He don't give a fuck. But he fucked around and stayed too long, and the eagles then came home. Now they wondering why the chickens is coming home to roost, because it's time to collect the bounty. Because when Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall, none of the king's horses and none of the king's men could put poor Humpty back together again. That's pure wasted potential. But if you can figure out how to unscramble the scrambled eggs, all you need is a possibility, and I'm going to take the chance. Because if I can take the chance and we can all dance Mardi Gras across the land from motherfucking Maine to goddamn Arizona, from Alaska to Florida, zigzag zig, X marks the spot. We home now, motherfucker. We back for every fucking thing they owe. No longer oppressed. That's why we overthrow those that placed us in this rotten mess with their motherfucking dirty ass games that they was playing. We talking dirty Moors. We ain't talking righteous Moors. Because in the Feather versus the Feds is the Bays win this bitch. Right? Because it was Bays versus the L's. Because the L's said they was lawgivers, and King George III instituted the Bar Association in 1863 in Savannah, Georgia. So we know who was behind the barristers the whole time, the black nobility, aka the goddamn white man that ain't even white, that look like us, but they ain't us. That's why they call us lichens, because we look like kin, but we ain't. We just wear the wolves. That's why they call us werewolves. But there's some blood sucking, adrenal cream drinking motherfuckers. But since we know who's who and what's what, it's time to shut this motherfucker up. So let's go to the audience and see if we got some questions out.
Yeah, we got a question that said, well, let me see, damn, we got too many comments out there. He said, how can artificial supplements help the natural body?
So look, the artificial supplements is not necessarily from an artificial source. It's just that the source was refined in order to extract the part that you can supplement with, because the food is being grown using artificial means. So they have to extract supplements from other locations, sometimes toxic sources that you couldn't take in this free form, but they can get the vitamin or the mineral out, and you can take it without having the negative side effect of consuming the toxin. So the artificial supplement, keep in mind, it's not really artificial.
To me, that's really, when you look at how you're breaking everything down, there's really no such thing as artificial.
Well, it becomes artificial when you assemble it from scratch. So if I was to go in the lab and take the atomic molecules used to make water and I alter the isotopes, I made artificial water that has a different weight density because of the alteration in the isotope.
I see what you're saying. That's like official mean to you legit. You know what I'm saying? It's straight. You know.
Well, the first word of artificial is art.
Yeah, that's right.
Art comes from the creative mind. The creative mind is the mind of God expressed through the hands of man.
So if you are official, that means, nigga, you official with this art. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, because you can reproduce and replicate.
Yeah.
Your words can manifest, your deeds can manifest. So if you can tell a compelling story to inspire deeper thought in somebody else, then you become a master of thought forms. You control thought. You become an instrumental part of the community because your energy changes the way people perceive reality. That's like you explain the rules of the game. You know, when the problem is too big for one, they got to call somebody who can figure the problem out next. If he can't solve it, he got to call next. And then till you get to what's called the final solution. The final solution is the final resolution. And the final resolution is the final resolve. And the final resolve is the resolve to get this shit done. Right? And so when we look at how everybody contributed to the art of life, remember, it's in the book, you the salt of the earth, right? In order to be the salt of the earth, you have to have the creative potential expressed. If you look on your screen right now, you got Mick Jagger, you got, I don't know if that's Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
And you got that talk show host, Tupac, and then you got old Blue Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
All of them had what's called the spark, the song. We didn't start the spot fire, but things been burning since the world been turning, right? So we didn't start the fire. The fire is the Promethean flame.
Mm-hmm.
The Promethean flame is the unadulterated intelligence of the gods. Now remember, Prometheus climbed up to Mount Olympus and stole a little bit of the flames.
Mm-hmm.
That means he got a female that was born of the gods to marry and reproduce to give that flame to his seed, his progeny.
Mm-hmm.
Once he gave that flame to his progeny, now he's passed on the wisdom of the gods to his offspring. And wisdom is always justified of her children. Right? Why do they call her Sophia? Ain Soph. Right? From Malkuth to Kephra.
Mm-hmm.
If you get to Kephra, you encounter Ain Soph, Sophia. Right? And Sophia is feminine for wisdom. Right? Mm-hmm. So if Sophia is wisdom and wisdom is justified of her children, they're talking about the queen's chamber in the brain. And in the queen's chamber in the brain is where the pineal gland sits. And on the other side is the king's chamber where the pituitary gland sits.
Mm-hmm.
And the two glands hold entirely two different functions. The pituitary gland develops your maturity. As a man, it turns you masculine. As a woman, it turns you feminine. And from the queen's chamber, we are downloading through the interior gyrus in the brain the instructions from Big Mama in the queen's chamber. And if there's no occupier of the queen's chamber, your mama can't die. She got to stay here till you find somebody that match her energy or love for you, unconditional.
You're born again.
Right. And so the story of Earth, right? The story of Earth is a love story in the end. The love story is bringing the love back where the misery dwells.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to unravel the love story in real life, you have to unravel all of the mysteries of time, but we call them legends and tales. Right? When you unravel that, then you find yourself in the midst of the mystery system and you become the unsolved mystery. So if you can see if you can find the mystery, the answer revolves around your history. So quietly, I dropped this degree scientifically and realistically, said Raquel. The 18th letter, the R. You catch that?
Mm-hmm.
And 18 is 3 6s, by the way.
And 81 on the mirror flip.
Yeah, and 81 is 9.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you put all this shit together, you see that some people just needed to drop of blood in order to be creative as us. Mission accomplished.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The galactic family then came back to see that we accomplished the task they left us to do. We fought amongst each other, but I promise you this, we ain't even got to burn this bitch down, even if we piss. Because at the end of the day, after the anger and the rage, comes an understanding of the price that we paid.
Deep.
Right? Once you understand that the price you paid was for a better day, then you have paved the way for your children to see the motherfucking shit you suffer for. Mm-hmm. And as long as you don't do that, you ain't breaking no generational curses.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Breaking the generational curses is giving up all of the things that don't serve the greater good. And if each one teach one, we all gonna reach some. Right? And the more we reach, the better we can teach. And the better we can teach, the more we can reach. It's a reciprocal manifestation of real time, understanding the holographic nature of the board game of life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we understand that we take on new avatars when we wear this one out. But now we have the technological ability to expand the life of the avatar that we already had, but it was denied access by nefarious forces so that we can forever be under the perpetual ignorance of who we were.
Mm-hmm.
But the spell is broken and the gods is awakened. So when we put together the holographic universe in front of your face and show you piece by piece how it's assembled, who else has done that?
Right.
Get them motherfuckers, young elder. Bust them niggas here.
Hey, we got them niggas tonight, man. Hey, we about to get up out of here though, because I'm about to wind down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can
Hey,
take let's take
ahead.
2 more questions.
I got you. Somebody said once dude was asking about the clock of destiny. How can
Charles Mosby Bay?
Yeah, it's like he said, how can you track? So can the clock of destiny help tracking reincarnation energy cycle?
When you understand what he's teaching in the clock of destiny, you will know how to read the astrological time frames. Right? He's teaching you the fundamentals of astrology as it's applied from our ancient ancestors, and it's slightly different than what we call the modern astrology. So he's giving you ancient Kemetic science, but he's telling it in a modern format. The same with C. Freeman Neal. He's telling you metaphysics and applied metaphysics and how to use it in order to accelerate your ascension. But most of the people can't understand what C. Freeman Neal is talking about because the science is beyond what they used to experiencing, so they can't sit through the lectures to get what they need to get. He's talking too much over their head, and he's breaking it down simple, but you have to be a diligent student in order to pay attention, and that's why I'm a master student, not the master teacher.
I feel the same.
So I tell you what all my teachers showed me, and then I can put it all together so y'all can see what I see. And once y'all see what I see, y'all can't unsee this shit.
That's right. We got one more for you, Brother Rod, before we get up out of here from the Sister Tiffany. Robot, Chief Rod, can you please elaborate a little bit more on the Shu Tefnut resonance?
So we was under a flip grid that gave us a double positive masculine polarity on the earth. They call it a Shu Men resonance. If you look up the god Shu and you look up the god Men, they are 2 male deities. This is a violation of Earth's gender contract to allow men to rule, to be under a double male domination. Like right here, you see you got a north and a south magnetic pole. Right? We only use the north magnetic pole because we in the northern hemisphere. But just like you have calibrated north magnetic pole magnets, you also have calibrated south pole magnets too. So that when you're in the southern hemisphere, you can traverse the land using the southern point of reference, which is up. Right? So when you're looking at those lines coming out, that's the developing of the electromagnetic field. Now, if you look up Shu Tefnut, go to Google Images, put in Shu Tefnut.
Bam.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I got to restart the computer.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Right. So Shu Tefnut is Mother Earth and the moisture of the sky, and it's the meeting of the two under the 432 hertz is the earth frequency. The Schumann resonance is calibrated on a different frequency to give us a pitch, the wrong pitch, right? And if you get the wrong pitch, you'll never hit a home run.
That's right.
Now, when the Schumann resonance flip back correctly, it becomes the Shu Tefnut resonance, which is the proper frequency of the earth. When that's what they call the pole flip. Before, the whole crust would flip around on the earth. Right now, only the energy, because it's just Nibiru is going to pass just far enough not to flip the crust.
Okay.
But it's still going to pull on the electromagnetic field and cause the magnets to flip. And those frequencies that you see will be reoriented to the position they are now. South is up, north is down. Right? So all of the ones of us that had a north calibrated compass, it ain't going to work right. It's going to draw you to the south. So your north going to be reading south on your compass because of the electromagnetic grid flip. And so when I'm talking about the Shu Teflon resonance, I'm talking about the ancient geographical physics of the Kemetic science, ancient Egypt, as they call it today.
Oh yeah, you put it down tonight, Rod. We're about to get up out of here, man.
Yes, sir.
We want to thank y'all for tuning in. Hey, we thank you for coming on, brother Rod. Let me know when you're ready to do the next one, man. We back. Man, we want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Like every time the brother Rod come on, it's always a new level of information that I can take, that we all can take, and we can run with it, man. Take that and run with it, man. So, man, look, Islam, Hotel, Shalom. You know what I'm saying? Peace, love, harmony. I should divine love throughout the violence universe too. Oh. We out this thing, man. All right, Rod. Hit me up, Rod.
All right, what do? Right? So we come, hey, bruh, you one of the chiefs on the land. I'm finna show you something. I need you to look at this problem and this solution and tell me if we need to put it in the public domain to present to the rest of the chiefs. Right? So I present the problem to you. I present the solution to you. I tell you why this is the only solution that'll work, and I'll show you the other solutions that I've examined to try to resolve the matter.
Correct.
Right? So in the Holy Tablets, under leadership, it says a plan that's workable anywhere is workable everywhere. If the plan is not workable everywhere, it's not truly workable anywhere. Right? Because those similarly situated will solve the problem similarly. So that means that the Earthborn, if one of them find a solution out, it should work wherever you go. Right? And we the last ones left because the other people around the world that's been taking this information and exercising it, it worked. We ain't the only ones going through this process. The whole planet is. Right?
Yeah, Australia was on the forefront, right, with the Mojave tribe.
Well, they was about their business. Some of the earliest ones to step up and start to exercise their sovereignty was Jamaica and Barbados. And that's why they announced that they was no longer under the jurisdiction of the Crown of England. And they say now they under the Republic. It's reverse engineering. It's going back out the same way you came in.
Right.
Now, once they established the Republic is still not the people yet. It's the leadership speaking on behalf of the people.
Of the people, okay.
Right? And this goes back to Plato's Republic, which was part of the discourses that take place in Rome on government. So now when you go through the government's discourse on running government that goes back to Rome, and you get to Plato's Republic, and then you start looking at all of the philosophies of government trace back to Plato's Republic. So now the next thing you have to do, the next jump, is to go back to what we was before Plato's Republic. Right? And they call that the feudal state. The feudal state is predicated upon family groups making alliances across the land. Right? And then you got your tribal custom or your family tradition. I got mine. Right? This is how we know when our tribe people is born in another clan and they got to marry back into the home tribe. They got an affinity to go back to the motherfuckers that live their life how they know it. They was born in your clan, but they from my clan. Now, when they get old enough to marry, for some reason, they marrying somebody in my clan as opposed to somebody in your clan. Right? So they got to still come home. But also, they bringing some of your genetic material over here into this clan, and this is how you prevent the birth defects. Right? We eternal beings. That means we don't never die. So we got to perpetually coming back in the reincarnation cycle as it's told in the story of Osiris. Right? And then we come in, and you come in levels. Right? In the time of plenty and bounty, you let the fuck-ups come run shit because they got a lot of shit that they could fuck up. Without it having an eternal effect. Right? So you let the fuck-ups, the newbies come in and get their practice in, but when they get totally fucked up like it is now you got to call the baddest motherfuckers ever born to all come together like fucking Autobots to form the Optimus Prime motherfucker in order to fix the shit that all of the other kids came before and fucked it up.
Captain Planet type shit.
Right. So we call that the back to the beginning. You ever hear him say back to the drawing board? You got to restructure this shit, reformat it, put it in the format it's supposed to be in. It's gonna run how it's supposed to run. Right. This time, the going in and out of the Aquarian age into the going out of Piscean age to Aquarian age, you no longer are fisher of men. What that make you? Now you a hunter of birds.
That J you was talking about.
Yep.
That hook. That's why it was important during that, man. Yo, that's wild.
Right. Now, that hook, when you hunting birds, turns into a long barrel pistol that became a rifle. When you straighten that son of a bitch back out.
Now it's back to this. Okay.
So now you're not fishing in the water, you shooting in the sky. It's a complete flip of opposites, polar opposites, a pole flip, an energetic pole flip.
The birds? That would be us, man. That would be the people.
Right. But in this case, when we talking about hunting the birds, we're not talking about like literally shooting them down. We talk about giving them the information. It's coming from under the water where you have to trust what you see blindly because you can't see underwater clearly. But when you flip to a bird's eye view, you can see from above what you couldn't see from under the depth. What was in your subconscious mind was the fish. But bring it to your conscious mind, and now they are birds, fins and feathers. Right? So once you get this alignment of information where you can see it, like looking through a needle. The only way a motherfucker getting through the eye of a needle, he got to be smaller than the eye of a needle. Not impossible. Depends on perspective. How did a rich man get through the eye of a needle? Get as far away from that motherfucker as he can. Then who's ever looking through the needle's eye sees the rich man clearly. The problem with that is he's in the crosshairs of a scope now. Everybody know who doing the dirt at that point. Ain't no more hiding that shit. So the rich man would rather his elephant or camel, depending on the culture you come from, walk past the motherfucker holding the needle without being seen than to be seen through the eye of the needle. Right? He don't physically go through it. But the perception sees through the needle, which brings the rich man into the scope's view.
I get what you're saying now. That's crazy. So essentially what you're saying is that old phrase that it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven It's the same thing as it's like trying to get through the eye of a needle, and that's what makes it complicated. Is because he's putting himself in eyesight.
Right. He got to be seen to go through the eye. He can't go through the eye unseen. And once the rich man is seen as a hoarder of wealth, you have what I call now the Benny Hinn Creflo Dollar effect.
Creflo walking all that back.
Look, he ain't the only one.
he said ties is a lie. I was like, there you go.
He ain't the only one about to tell it all. See, they gotta all take the piece that they the most guilty of doing for their redemption. Right? So TD Jakes gave his ministry to his daughter because she is more upright than he is, and he noticed. The side effect to that is it's going to cause the disruption in the life of his other daughter, which you see him play out now. Right? Because she was the one who was supposed to have been the heir. But he made the righteous one the black sheep, which was thereby making the one who was supposed to be the heir lose her motherfucking kingdom because he treated the other one wrong. And it's in the treatment of the siblings. He should have treated them the same. You can't favor one of your children over the other. You can look at them differently, but you have to treat them equally. Right? And that's where he fucked up. So now the one he perceived as being the golden child, because she was the oldest, turned out to not be the golden child. The golden child was the second one because the deuces is the flip. Because Cain slew Abel. Abel didn't slew Cain. Right? And Cain was the oldest, so he lost the inheritance to all of the firstborn. So what would be an heir under the firstborn rule becomes the heir under the secondborn rule because Cain slew Abel. And Jacob tried to steal Esau's birthright.
Yep. Ship that man off.
And Esau is the ruddy red man. See that color? I'm just saying. So when you see these so-called Hebrew Israelites talking about the Edomites is pale-skinned Europeans, it's because they don't even know what the fuck they talking about. Flat don't know what they got a whole bunch of conjecture, but it doesn't mean what they think it do. And the only reason why they don't know what it means is because it's not for them to figure out the problem, or else they would have knew what it meant.
Right.
So Big Mama wanted somebody else to figure out the problem, so she let them chase their goddamn tail.
I think you ain't all the way, but damn near broke it all the way down from top to bottom what's going on.
That's we go wherever the questions take me. You the mod on this motherfucker.
Yeah, they got questions. They definitely do. Now I know you passed this part, like you said, you were studying in the past, and you feel like the contract with it being dead, they don't have to honor any of these processes.
No. I don't feel nothing about the contract.
Well, I haven't. Yeah.
Right. So the contract is expired. The reason it's expired is I closed the contract out on behalf of the people of the land because they never honored the treaty. I presented evidence to close the contract. The fact that every treaty has been complained about in open court. That means it's a public domain complaint that proves a prima facie case, meaning on the surface, off a clear first look, they obviously had no intentions on honoring any other treaties. They had 400 years to do so. Since they didn't have any intentions of honoring any other treaties, I closed the contracts on behalf of the people. Not because I'm better than nobody or not because I'm smarter than nobody. I just knew what to do according to the law. And because I know what to do according to the law in both jurisdictions, our original jurisdiction before they came and under their system, I know what I'm supposed to do. It becomes now my responsibility, even if I don't want it. I have to do it to claim everything for the ones who is unaware, because ignorance is no excuse. right? So it worked both ways. If ignorance is no excuse for you keeping our wealth from us, then when I reclaim the wealth, the ignorance won't be no excuse for my people to get their shit back. Because they don't know they have the wealth, that you can't use that to call them imbeciles in law because I claim it on their behalf. That moves me into a trustee status.
Yeah, you're acting as
to the people. Right. So now I'm just speaking up on behalf of every one of us. I'm not just speaking up for me. That makes the problem because everybody that speaks up for us is murdered by niggas. Or locked up by the Pale Nations of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Taking out the picture pretty much.
Yep. Neutralized. That's what they call it.
They're doing it with all the celebrities who get a conscience and start dropping some of the info of what's going on. They go to jail and then come back a whole different person.
But it's codes. Now watch this. Biggie was Chief Sitting Bull who got caught at the post letting the enemies through without properly screening them.
Mm.
That's Chief Sitting Bull. Notorious B.I.G. Christopher Wallace is Chief Sitting Bull. Chief Sitting Bull now has to be publicly flogged before the rest of the chiefs. Now it got to be one of the assassinated chiefs in past history that does it.
Mm.
So first off, fuck your bitch and the clique you claim. A public flogging,
right,
in front of all of the chiefs to see.
Right.
Okay, now what does that mean in our culture? That means that in order for us to know who got caught slipping, he gonna take his punishment like a man, and he ain't gonna say shit. What'd he do?
He ain't say shit.
He ain't say shit. He took that shit, right? He ain't the only one.
He said, "That's my boy." That's what he said. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now, this is how you know he's sitting bull. The last interview, he's sitting down. I think he was at the Rucker. And he was doing the interview on, I think it was either Yo MTV Raps or it was on In the Basement. One of the rap shows it was on. I think it was Yo MTV Raps. It was on, I think it was an MTV program. Okay, now he was sitting in the chair because he broke his leg in a car accident. Sitting Bull broke his leg when he fell off of a horse, or actually the horse carriage rolled over.
Mm.
And he had to walk with a stick because he had a pronounced limp. Mirror flip.
Mm.
Why in the fuck is Biggie not saying nothing to this nigga saying, fuck you and your wife? Motherfucker, I will be at your motherfucking head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something else going on here. I got to look closer because it doesn't make sense to me. Right? Especially listening to the skill set. The skill set, he can handle it. He can come back.
Oh yeah, he would have ate popped up for sure.
But the culture says he can't say shit.
You got to take that.
He got to take this public flogging in order for the rest of the chiefs to know which one of these groups is behind it.
Mm.
They came in, Albert Pike, 32 Degrees, Scottish Rite, Freemason, Blackamoors, and Tony Moores. The Tony Moores' job was to hold the front line. What's the front line? It's the face of the company. And the Blackamoors' job was to mastermind the plot. Where did the mastermind be at? In the laboratory,
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes,
Mm-hmm.
the war room, congregated. Now, once this happens, it makes you start asking, okay, well, who else? Right? I see somebody talking about they trying to kill me. What's up, Kulu? Big Mama told me to leave you alone. And she told me that you was doing that for a purpose. Saying what I said. You know, so we gave me a wave, so I was sending him a shout out. Anyway, so now the problem that we all face with becomes clear if we can read our culture back before they brought this other shit over here. right? So now in reading the culture, I'm seeing, okay, this other guy talking about he big baby Jesus, Osiris, big baby Jesus. Why is he doing this? Like, what is it? What is he meaning? Because he looks slightly off kilter. Chief Crazy Horse, Shinnecock,
ODB.
Yeah. Chief Crazy Horse is instrumental in fighting with Spanish, French, and English forces, right? And Geronimo, who is Geronimo Pratt, GINDJAB, right? When he said his name was GINDJAB, that right there tells me, because that is Geronimo in his indigenous tongue.
GINDJAB.
GINDJAB. So when I hear that, I know exactly which one of the chiefs he is. So now I'm listening to him. I'm watching his moves as a strategist. This tells me who 80% of the members of the Black Panther Party are. Once I get this in understanding of what's taking place on the land, and then now I can say, hey, family, look, this is how we get our shit back.
Just that
once I realize this, right? So once I realize it, well, I can't wait. All this shit time sensitive for the ones who know what to do have to execute. They don't wait on the rest of them. They'll figure it out when you get done doing the work, right? So July the 4th, the contract expired. July the 6th, I staked the claim. I exercises the blood right and the right. Right? And I told them on behalf of us. So let's say when I'm doing it, once I told you I did it, it's the same as if you did it in our culture. If you one of the chiefs. Now, I have to tell the people, the chiefs who is responsible for staking the claim that is currently living but not doing their job, and then I got to find out why they not doing their job. And then I got to tell the people who they are, so that they can demand that whatever system is parks in our community, whatever system parks in our community, there's always, if we go back to our culture and our traditions, our oral traditions, there's always a remedy for us to reclaim the land back. All we need is a Jubilee year and a just cause. That's it. The only two things we need in order for us to reclaim what's ours. Now, leading up to the Jubilee year, I got to inform as many people possible on the land, like motherfucking, what's the nigga riding on the horse talking about the British is coming, the British is coming? Paul Revere. I'm on some Paul Revere shit now. Them bitches is leaving. Them bitches is leaving. Them bitch motherfuckers is leaving. Right? So I'm spreading the word across to them. They got to fucking go. Wake up. They got to fucking go.
Right.
Right? So now, when they wake up and y'all see what's going on, some of y'all gonna say that nigga tripping. Some of y'all gonna say, let me see what he talking about. But the sisters gonna know the whole time. Yeah, as soon as Rod get done telling their ass, and if they listen, right? Every time one of the righteous sisters here, they say the same shit. All you gotta do is go back and look on my lives where I have guests on there. That resonates with me, what you be saying.
They do. It's in the subconscious though, huh?
Yeah. So if it's resonating with them because they know something instinctually that men don't instinctually know. Big Mama gonna send somebody to make sure when her daughters ain't being treated right, that they get all they shit. And I just so happen to be the motherfucker they seeing. So when I'm not doing what Big Mama want me to do, I can't even get a 2 minute, I can't even get a, hey, how you doing out of sister. Period. But as soon as I figure out the problem, right, and then I follow the path that Big Mama and Mama laid for me, and they see me coming in, I got a different energy to them. Now they want to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now they want to say, good job. You did what Big Mama sent you to do. We proud of you. We see you. Right? But I'm still going to have to wrestle with some of the guys because if I'm not performing in an area, somebody going to come and ruffle my feathers to make me get that part of the job done because that's what Big Mama going to send somebody. She always do. That's why I don't be so quick to fly off the handle with my short temper no more. But I will get into the shits. But sometimes I got to get into the shits, right, in order for me to see what she's trying to show me.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes that's going to bring out the best in you.
Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 minute because my sound went out.
All right. Oh, dang. Okay, we gotta get into some of these questions they dropping. There's some good ones in here.
Hold on. You know, let's say this here, and then we're gonna do a part 2 that's all Q&A with what you got in there.
Okay.
So tell me, right? Because I got to get my sound right.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I can hear you.
It came back?
Yeah.
Okay, bet.
Well, we can rock on out then. You got the questions already.
Oh, bet. So this one is from So Wavy Girl. This is why I asked you that. That's what's like. I know you feel like the contract's over, but people are still looking for remedy because they still got these quote unquote bills. So she's asking, why do they report? She's asking how to pay my light bill.
I made it where I didn't have any bills before I started my mission. So, you might get your lights cut off for a month. It might happen anyway.
Right.
Right.
The power go out.
No, serious. Look at what we gotta read. What's going on in real time? They're running out of diesel fuel. A lot of the electric producing facilities have diesel fuel generated generators as backups to whatever source they use, like hydroelectric or wind. They got backups that's made of diesel fuel. So if you get an overflow, the diesel fuel engine kicks on to add extra power to the local community. We're running out of diesel fuel. The reason we're running out of diesel fuel is because they are not making the detergents that allows the diesel fuels to be converted into fuel. And so we're going to experience that, but the sooner we separate from the system, the sooner we don't give a fuck about the system.
About paying bills.
A couple of streets over from me. And she is related to my childhood sweetheart. She her auntie. Right? So Jackie Wilson, greatest R&B crooners of all time. And but most of us don't know is he was a high-ranking chief on the land, and while he was doing music in the open and behind the scenes, he was making connections with other clans across the land. That's why they had to poison him in the end, get rid of him. So we all know what these motherfuckers is up to. But I sometimes listen to his daughter, and she a very, very potent oracle. And so I was sitting there listening to her today. She was vexing grievances about people that's mistreating her. And I was threatening her because they don't even know who this lady is. They stepping in some shit that they have no fucking clue what they stepping into, right? like this is a person that is one of the highly favored of the Most High, and I'm gonna show y'all a picture of her so y'all know who I'm talking about. With her dad. So this her here with Jackie. Right? Now, if you look at Jackie Wilson, you'll know an uncanny resemblance to Emmett Till. Right? So we talking family lines being tied across the land. Look at him. So one of y'all homework is to match Jackie Wilson face up with Emmett Till. I already matched Emmett Till up with the other young man that got killed. I can't remember his name right now. He got killed by the police. But this lady right here, y'all don't, if y'all into that conjure shit, don't y'all send no shit to fucking with this lady. That's the worst thing in the fucking world to do on this land. She from the land. Right? You could tell the way she talk, cause I be telling people, I be like, y'all be thinking we just be making shit up. Y'all call us crazy cause we sound country, but y'all be getting shit twisted. I'm gonna let y'all hear some of her words. 1101 on the knockback. She out cold. So my sister wanted me to put this on the floor, so I'm gonna let her say some stuff in her own words. Just listen to her.
To, and you won't stop the shit or do a motherfucking thing about it, bitch. You can keep talking about me, I don't give a fuck, but now, bitch, I'm talking back. You clapping, bitch, I'm clapping back.
Clap to the clap back.
Not with a dislike of who you are and what you do, because I don't even fucking know you bitches. I don't watch y'all like that, and most of you have emojis anyway, so I can't really see who the fuck you are. I don't really care who you do, what you cook, who you screw. Business like that. I don't really fucking care. So I don't try to tell you what.
She talking about she don't get in other people's business like that because she don't care. That's our culture over here, right? The foreign culture, she finna identify the foreign culture and how the enemy's women act versus how the women on the land act. Well, like, we don't get, Alexis, we don't get in other people's business, right? That's not how we operate. We mind our business. As long as you ain't fucking with these kids, we don't have too much to say about nothing that an adult does with his adult life. If you want to step in front of a fucking moving train, step in front of that bitch. That's your prerogative, right? Long as these kids are safe, hands off your business. I don't want, but if I find out that you touching on the kids, then I got to give you what you got coming, right? But listen how she described it, because all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and she know it. And they always take our country accents and our country draw to mean some type of ignorance or to mean that we slow or something. They be having the game twisted, right? So I'm gonna let her say a few more words.
What the fucking do? Whatever you want to do. I don't see you all cooking for nobody that was murdered. I don't see you trying to get justice for anybody that was murdered. I don't see you doing any readings for anybody or paying anybody to do readings or updates for people that were murdered, like Nipsey Hussle, like King Von, like Young Dolph, like Mo 3. Y'all don't really care about these people. You say you do, but you don't. You just want the gossip on them, and you want to keep messy black bitches. That's all you fuckers is. That's why I don't hang with a whole bunch of black fucking bitches. That's why y'all have taught me. My mother, my aunts, my cousins, everybody, all the women that I know that I have grown up around are just like y'all, and y'all have taught me not to fucking trust you. You will never see me hanging with you bitches again, because bitches like you, while y'all fucking... Right, let me tell you something. All y'all, and then I'm gonna go. All y'all fucking bitches that's ha-ha with these bitches. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna learn from her. Oh, she's so nice. She's my friend. I'm gonna be in these sister circles. Take your ass in there. With people that you don't know, and you're naive and stupid because you have mother issues like I've had. You have childhood issues like I've had, but I don't look for mother figures. I don't look for sister and brother figures. I've learned to trust and stand on my own. I don't have to be in them groups because I know what they do, because I've been around them, even when I didn't try to get in the groups. All them people I just told you about, them people came to me trying to initiate and recruit me. I never seek them out because I never heard of them. From being in Georgia, I don't know nothing about no conscious community. I don't know nothing about no vegetarian shit. I don't know nothing about no soy milk, all that bullshit. I don't know nothing about these people, these gurus that they buy. I don't know about a fool. I don't know nothing about these people. Never heard of these people. So I didn't try to get in the group. They tried to put me in there. They tried to rob and rape and pillage and plunder off of me. Like they treat everybody like this is the next sucker. And they feel like because I'm down south and I got a country accent, you can just fucking do that shit to me. And you can't do that to me. So y'all want to go in these groups with these black women because they're black and they wear their hair nappy and they pro-black and all on that consign and shit, and the black woman is God shit and the black man is God shit and worshiping black dick. Most of this black dick you worship also worship black dick, and they like boys. And you're just a paycheck for them.
Now, all of the things that we've been fighting against, she summed that shit up. They think because we talk country that we dumb. They think that we don't see when they be coming up with that good brother shit, that we dumb, and we don't see past them